I'm going to show you how to use Canvas to have a conference or some online synchronous session with students in your class. So obviously we're going to have to log into our Canvas account, and then we'll choose the course that we want to have the conference in. So in our course homepage on the left we have a list of tools. Towards the bottom we have the conference tool. So I'll select that, and then in the right panel that brings up a Make a New Conference button. So that's the button that I'll click to create a new conference. I can choose to have it run for any length of time, including open-ended, so that it's always available. And I can give it a description so that when I invite course members, they know what they're attending. I can choose to invite all the members enrolled in this course, or if I deselect that, I get a list of individual members that I can selectively invite. And finally, I'll create the conference. So that doesn't start the conference, but it schedules it, or it puts it into the list of conferences waiting to be started. So at any point now, when I'm in my course shell, I can go into the list of conferences, and this new conference will show up with the Start It Now button. So let's say that I've scheduled this to be during class time so my students know to come into Desire to Learn and log on at a certain time. I would go and start the conference a few minutes before I expect them to be logging on. And the first thing I'm given is a request to use my computer's webcam and microphone so that it can stream audio and video. Now, you don't need to do this. You could have a conference where you're just using text chat and sharing files, but I'm going to go ahead and allow that. It's a good idea to test your configuration first, so you can play a test sound. Make sure that if you're using headphones, that they're plugged in properly, that your computer's audio is turned to an appropriate level. And once you've confirmed that, you can check that your microphone is picking up signals. So look at the little visual display of the microphone volume. If you're not seeing anything, you can change from the microphone that the computer system is using to any other microphones you've connected to your computer. So you might have a microphone connected via USB or one attached to your webcam. You can select that here and change the gain of the microphone so that those listening to you will hear you at a comfortable volume. Okay, so once I've confirmed the audio, and so here's our conference webpage. This is all run inside a web browser, so there's no particular software to install, although it does use Adobe Flash, which means it won't work on an iPad. Up top is a list of participants in the conference. So I'm going to go ahead and use my second computer sitting at my desk right now to log into this conference as a second attendee. All right, so Peter Beiersdorf, that's me, I'm the moderator, and this Pete Man is a second account that I've created for the purpose of testing this conference. All right, so you see this little icon here in the status bar, in the status column. That indicates who the presenter is. Now, the presenter at the conference can do a couple things. First is when you mouse over this whiteboard area, so the center pane of the conference webpage is a virtual whiteboard, and you can see that the mouse carries along with it a little red dot that represents a pointer. So you can use that to draw your students' attention to various points on the whiteboard. The other thing I can do as a presenter is I can use this button up here to share my desktop. So if I want to give a PowerPoint presentation or navigate through a website using a web browser and have my students follow along, one of the easiest ways to do that is just click this, tell the computer I want to share my full screen or just a region. Clicking this will let me drag a rectangle over a portion of the screen that then gets streamed to the other participants. So once I've clicked that, I can see a little preview of what my screen looks like in this little pop-up window. And I can run a presentation and get all the animations and all of the usual effect of presenting a screen, this time just streaming over the internet to the participants in the conference. Okay, so let me go ahead and close that because that's actually not what I'm interested in doing. But the presenter can either choose to share their screen or drive the whiteboard. And I can click on a user and hit the Switch Presenter button, and that gives the other user then a chance to drive the screen. So now I can see the little red dot moving around the whiteboard. That's being controlled by my student, or the other user logged into the account. And that student could also share their screen and drive the conference that way. And when I'm ready to be the presenter again, I just click on my name and click Switch Presenter. So now I'm back in control of the conference. Okay, so a few things I might want to do. I'm streaming my audio right now, but I might want to listen to what my student has to say. In particular, my student might have a question. And if that's the case, he or she should click on this little hand raise button. And I can see the hand is raised here. So I could ask the student, did you have a question? And at this point, if the student is streaming his or her audio, I should be able to hear their response. And I might want to mute my own audio while the student is talking. So I can just click on the microphone icon next to my name, and that mutes my audio. Likewise, the student might be done giving their question, and now I don't want to hear the sound of the TV in the background where the student is working, so I could click and mute their microphone and unmute mine. And of course, there might be times where you have a large class, a lot of people having their microphones on. You could just mute all of them using the Mute All button. So we have control over individuals' microphones. We can also lock the microphone status so that it's not accidentally changed. And once I've addressed my student's comment, I might click on the hand to dismiss it so that I can see the next time that they've raised their hand. Other ways I might communicate, I've got this chat over here. So I can enter text information here. I can highlight various things by changing the color of the text. And I can have a back channel here to my lecture going on in real time among my students. I might also choose to stream video. So this toolbar up at the top is the streaming toolbar. It lets me stream my desktop, my video, or my audio, which I'm currently sharing. So I'll go ahead and click on that webcam button. That gives me a preview of my webcam. Make myself look nice. And once I click the little play button, that actually starts streaming the video. And so that video appears here in the dock. Now, we're not limited to just a single participant streaming video. I can have my second user, which happens to be a laptop sitting at my desk right over there, participate in the video conference as well. And now I have a multi-way video conference. And just by clicking the X here, I can turn off either of these videos. And I can see here that Pete Man is still broadcasting video, even though I've closed the video from my dock because I don't want to be distracted by it. But I can click that and bring that back up and close it at any point. That video will be available to me as long as that user is streaming the video. And to stop streaming the video, the user can close their own video window. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to show you is how to use this whiteboard here to give a presentation. So I can upload a presentation to the whiteboard. Not all file formats can be uploaded. PDFs work quite nicely. So I will upload a PDF of my class lecture notes. It converts them into the appropriate whiteboard format. And now I can see that I've got 27 pages to my whiteboard that I can navigate using these buttons here to go in and out of. I've got my red dot that I can use to point at various portions of the whiteboard, and that will be streamed to my students' computers. And if I want to annotate the slides, I have the option using this annotation toolbar that pops up when I click on the notepad in the bottom right. So I can do things like draw lines. I can change the width of those lines using this slider, and the color of those lines using that toolbar. And I can choose various shapes from the toolbar as well, and then I can delete the annotations at any point. And I can go through my slides and give a lecture from within the confines of this web browser. And remember, if I want to actually use my original PowerPoint presentation with all its animations and such, I can do that using Share My Desktop. So finally, when I'm done, I'll log out. That doesn't kill the conference, it just logs me out of it. I can join back in if there are other people still participating. One thing you might note is that at this point, the conferences are not being recorded. So these are useful for synchronous communication, but they're not recorded. That will probably change within the next, sometime in early 2013. The software is being developed. It's in beta stage now for recording these conferences.